what's going on, crypto people? It is your boy, the Crypto Siege, with another day in the life, in the crazy life that is the digital asset space. Good morning. Happy Friday to you. Yes, video number 2. I really wanted to share some interesting stuff. Shout out to Chris Larsen. Yeah, the title of this video will be When Chris Larsen Speaks. Yeah, people listen, including the people from Bloomberg Law. I'm going to share an interesting article there from you for you guys as well. But for those of you who might not have caught the awesome interview that Chris Larsen did with someone from the Wall Street Journal, I'm going to cover this really quick. Now, remember, Chris Larsen did the interview rather, and then he went on to Twitter and he tweeted this out. Blockchain is poised to play an integral role in our next-gen global financial system. By the way, this is your XRP Ripple news in around 0 to 10 minutes. Unfortunately, check this out, the United States is currently ceding control in this arena to China, partly by only providing regulatory clarity to the two cryptos dominated by miners based in China. Wow. Interesting little thing there.
China now has moved very strongly into building out a central bank digital currency, a renminbi, as well as controlling mining and basically having almost all their payments digital domestically. You know, frankly, and we can talk about it as well, we're way behind China when it comes to blockchain technology. So, you know, the companies need to just stay at it, you know, blocking and tackling, working within the system, but that vision of free money moving around, essentially for free. That's what the internet basically is for information. But the U.S. government also needs to get a lot more involved in blockchain. We're slow to the game. China is so far ahead of us. You know, they just announced they're going to spend $1.4 trillion on technology. Payments and blockchain, clearly part of that strategy. You could even argue the move to control Hong Kong more closely gives them an advantage in controlling 2 of the global financial centers. U.S. only has 1, right? So the U.S. has got to change its view that goes from 17 and 18, which was all about these horrible ICOs, initial coin offerings, which were terrible, had to be shut down. They effectively shut them down. We won that war. Now we got to switch to, okay, how do we compete with China? How do we keep up? And, you know, till now, frankly, U.S. regulators have actually helped China by officially giving clarity to the 2 protocols effectively controlled by Chinese miners, Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's a mistake. We've got to also give clarity at least, and maybe even support, if this really becomes a tech cold war like it's looking like it will be, to technologies that are more favorable to U.S. and its allies' stewardship of the next-gen global financial system.
So that, my friends, like I said in the live stream a couple of days ago, is by no small coincidence that he pointed that out. And again, I think the most important thing, and by the way, all the people out there in the podcast world, thanks for hanging out. If you want to listen to the full interview, you can go to ripple.com to see the full thing there, the full video there on .ripple.com. Watch the full talk today on .ripple.com, or you can go to the official Ripple channel on YouTube. If you're on Twitter, just follow Chris Larsen and you can catch the same 2 minutes that I just shared. But again, the thing that I think is most important is how matter of fact he was in the statements. He did not hold back. There is a reason for that. They understand, both Chris Larsen and Brad Garlinghouse understand that the position that they are in as a powerhouse at Ripple. As a powerhouse at Ripple. Never mind the fact that they do have this lobbying pact. They do have a pact established as well. The timing of this is significant. The timing of this and that interview is very significant. Now let me share something that I found to be really powerful. And this is an article from Bloomberg Law. From Bloomberg Law, the United States Law Week. So it says an insight and this is the contributing author. By the way, I'm going to say this now, and I'm going to say this at the end so you guys check out who this author is, so you will stay for every second and every word of this read. Jamison Greer is a partner at a law firm. No, he's a partner at King and Spalding LLP. I believe that to be a law firm. Yeah, it is a law firm. And served as the chief of staff in the White House office of the U.S. Trade Representative from 2017 to 2020. So let's go over his insights. Insight: U.S. must act to slow China's roll toward global digital payments domination. So this guy, people here from Bloomberg Law, the United States must act to slow China's roll toward global digital payments domination. You understand that, how powerful that is? China is aggressively seeking to dominate digital currencies and the next generation of international financial payments. Jamison Greer, a partner at King and Spalding LLP, who recently served as chief of staff in the White House office of the United States Trade Representative, interesting, warns that failing to address this emerging threat will undermine U.S. national security and explores what U.S. regulators need to be doing to level the playing field so China doesn't end up controlling the international payments system. You understand? This is the narrative. This is the things that will be espoused. And trust me when I tell you, this is going to be covered on mainstream media. This will be pointed out and noted on mainstream media. Probably Chris will be doing some stuff here shortly on MSNBC or CNBC, perhaps even with Julia Chatterley. So after years of neglect, the United States government has woken up to the strategic challenge posed by China. It is no secret that China seeks to dominate global markets in manufactured products, advanced technology, and artificial intelligence. Chris Larsen pointed out in that video that I shared with you guys that they have put $1.4 trillion, invested $1.4 trillion into advancing technology. $1.4 trillion. Wow. Global concern about Chinese hegemony over 5G networks is at an all-time high. Human rights and national security flashpoints are severely testing China's relations with the West. And another thing about that as well, which is what Chris Giancarlo pointed out about China is, and China and the U.S. is, this is really more about China and that kind of lifestyle mindset, way of life versus the West and their mindset and way of life. Which one is going to win out? Which one's going to win out, right? We all know too well about China and their mindset and that way of life. Are we going to let that way of life win over? This is what they're saying to the United States and the regulators. Less known and perhaps more worrying, however, is China's ambition and growing ability to control the next generation in international financial payments through blockchain technology and digital or cryptocurrency. If successful, China will become the gatekeeper for key payment technologies and systems that the U.S. government, companies, and consumers will increasingly rely upon in the future. And here's one thing that I can pretty much suspect. The President of the United States is not going to be, is not wanting to be that one who let this happen during his administration. Over the past 3 years, the Trump administration, Over the past 3 years, the Trump administration has made significant economic headway with China, extracting meaningful trade concessions while maintaining leverage with tariffs. But it is not enough for the U.S. to focus only on its trade in goods and services with China. Failure to address this emerging threat will undermine U.S. leadership in the global economy and present national security risk. You think this particular article has reached the desk of the POTUS? What do you think? You think it reached the desk maybe this morning or yesterday morning? What do you think? I think so. Leveling the playing field. The first step in this effort is to put U.S. companies on a level playing field with Chinese competitors. For decades, international financial transfers have depended on the U.S. dollar as the world's trade currency, but blockchain and digital currency advances will likely displace legacy payment systems. The introduction of new technology to make cross-border payments faster, cheaper, and more transparent is welcome, but if the U.S. does not act swiftly, it risks giving China the global advantage. This is precisely why China is promoting its own digital financial architecture. So I got a question for you guys. Are we behind or not? Chris Larsen says we're behind. Chris Giancarlo says we're behind. Brad Garlinghouse suggests that we are behind. Are we behind? Do we have a plan? I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. Do you guys think we have a plan? Is it strategically being held, waiting for the right moment to show itself? I don't know. China has already created a new domestic system for digital payments operated through its own tech companies. And this is the thing that I think is so important. This is something that me personally, I have been saying on my live streams constantly. Do me a favor, guys, if you haven't already, please hit the like and subscribe to the channel and follow me on Twitter if you don't mind, crypto_siege. I've been saying this on my channel, which is CEEJ, for a while now, that I believe, again, I've always said this, the United States has a plan. And I believe that Ripple and XRP are in the plan. I don't know if it's a plan A or a plan B or a plan C, but I believe wholeheartedly it is in the plan. And I've said this is also as well. How is it that Europe, Japan, LATAM, right? Brazil, Argentina, Latin America. How is it that some people from Saudi Arabia, banks in Europe, how is it that they are going to leverage a United States fintech company that is Ripple, a blockchain infrastructure company born and bred in the good old US of A? How are other nations going to utilize and leverage this technology and the good old US of A is not? We're talking breakthrough technology. We're talking years ahead, leaps and bounds better than anything else in the marketplace. We're talking about Mr. Yoshitaka Kitao, Japan, and SBI Holdings getting ready to leverage and introduce this technology in Japan and throughout Cambodia and in Korea, right? And we got all these money transmitter businesses, SMEs, and money transmitter operators utilizing this technology and singing from the rooftop about it. And we are not going to leverage it? That does not make sense to me. Again, I just do not see that administration allowing this opportunity to slip right through the palms of their hands. A U.S. company with technology. And this is what China is doing. China has already created a new domestic system for digital payments operated through China's own tech companies, Alipay and WeChat. What's the U.S.'s plan? Which company is going to provide not only the digital payments, but also the blockchain technology space as well. That's why this guy said, he didn't just say digital payments, he said cryptocurrency technology and blockchain technology as well, all of that. So they capture more than 90%, Alipay and WeChat capture more than 90% of individuals in China's largest cities on their mobile payment platforms. There is no question that in this space, China already has a world-class industry. And I just believe that this administration loves to bring out and showcase and call to the front of the room good old USFA companies. But there is no USFA company more positioned and better positioned to not only tackle digital payments, but also take advantage of distributed ledger technology and provide it to the world than Ripple. China is also working on creating a centralized sovereign digital currency. The People's Bank of China began testing its currency in 4 cities in April, and we can expect this to spread throughout China and even abroad. It doesn't take much imagination to see China requiring international payments to be made using its digital currency. Weaker nations dominated by Chinese infrastructure projects and financing would be particularly vulnerable to such an effort. Let me read that again. The People's Bank of China began testing its currency in 4 cities in April, and we can expect this to spread throughout China and even abroad. It doesn't take much imagination to see China requiring international payments to be made using its digital currency. Weaker nations dominated by Chinese infrastructure projects and financing would be particularly vulnerable to such an effort. While it may seem improbable now, similar demands for U.S. retailers and consumers reliant on Chinese imports would not be far behind. While developing its own digital currency, China has simultaneously created favorable conditions for producing and hoarding cryptocurrency. The Chinese government is following the same basic playbook it uses to take over any sector. It is subsidizing the vast amounts of energy needed to fuel the servers and equipment at cryptocurrency mining facilities throughout the country. The government also has provided tax deductions to mining farms. The leading hardware company for cryptocurrency mining equipment, Bitmain, is in China and has facilitated the creation of a colossal industry within a few short years. Why do you think a partner at a law firm is bringing up a digital asset in this new asset class? Why do you think that is? Because this new asset class is the next generation, whether it be technology or payments of subset of that technology. Bitmain is in China and has facilitated the creation of a colossal industry within a few short years. As a result, 65% of cryptocurrency value for assets like Bitcoin and Ether is concentrated in China. As their use expands, China will be in a unique position to exert influence over control over these currencies. And what are we going to do? What is the good old US of A going to do? This current administration is not going to want to have this happen on their watch. They're not going to want to have China become the dominant player in this new advanced, this next generation technology and payments, and let that happen on their watch. I just don't believe that. Unfortunately, the only two digital currencies that enjoy regulatory certainty, again, when Chris Larsen speaks, people listen. So unfortunately, the only two digital currencies that enjoy regulatory certainty in the United States market are Bitcoin and Ethereum. Otherwise, the U.S. regulatory government environment for digital currencies is opaque, unevenly applied, and puts homegrown projects at a severe disadvantage. This is a former White House staffer. This is a partner in a major law firm, apparently. And we like to say in this channel, they know. If we know, they know. I could just see current administration going over this article and reading this article. Listen to this. The United States regulatory environment for digital currencies is opaque, unevenly applied, and puts homegrown projects at a severe disadvantage. Those words are crippling for this current administration. I promise you that. Our policymakers should take the opportunity to provide clarity to ensure that United States blockchain platforms that rely on digital currencies created in the United States can compete everywhere. This is not a question of providing special treatment for United States players. It's about setting the global industry on a level playing field. Without deliberate and concrete action by the United States, in parentheses here, we got to which other countries look for leadership, China will own important components of the infrastructure of the new global payment economy. A proactive approach is especially critical in a world where Chinese entities may become increasingly subject to U.S. sanctions, which are effective only to the extent they can reach financial transactions. The same is true with a long arm of U.S. anti-money laundering laws and corruption enforcement. China and other actors that may find themselves on the wrong end of U.S. enforcement efforts will be happy to control an alternative financial system to skirt those sanctions and anti-money laundering laws. Again, this is not just a contributing author, right? This is just not a contributing writer to Bloomberg Law, right? The time is right to get our house in order. The time is right to get our house in order. United States companies are developing innovative digital platforms with the fastest transaction times on the planet. These U.S. entrepreneurs have successfully adapted digital currency for commercial use by hundreds of financial institutions globally. I'm wondering who they might be talking about. Something that has never happened before. These kind of free enterprise solutions can preserve American primacy in international payments and ensure compliance in global standards that promote good governance and the rule of law. The private sector is doing its part. It is incumbent on the U.S. policymakers to do theirs. It is imperative to establish a predictable and fair regulatory structure that establishes, at a minimum, a level playing field for United States blockchain innovators that rely on digital assets. Allowing the United States industry to continue muddling through a regulatory morass is a recipe, or is that morass, is a recipe for economic and national security disaster. This is where we are, guys. Shout out to Chris Larsen, and a major shout out to Jameson Greer, a partner at King and Spalding LLP and served as the Chief of Staff in the White House Office of the United States Trade Representative from 2017 to 2020. What a powerful message. And again, I don't think it's, listen, Chris Larsen, David Schwartz, Brad Garlinghouse, they understand the position that they are in. You're talking about an upcoming IPO. This is all very strategic and laid out. Very, very strategic and laid out. And this is an excellent read. And it's very, very important to know. And everyone, trust me, when mainstream media gets a hold of this article, I can see Chris Larsen being on somewhere, CNBC or something, talking about not only what he said in that article and that interview with the guy from Wall Street Journal, but also about this article. As we like to say, trust and believe. This article hit the desk of this current administration. Trust me when I tell you that. What a great read, guys. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to wrap up this video like I do all of my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather us remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating, or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, that the battle for you has already been fought, and the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.